he's caressing the song. It's just a cracker man. You know, it's like he doesn't want to sing. He's singing the song with. Nobody started.
And Apietus will be backing that with.
You know, there was the time in Ghana, everything. Apietus.
Yeah. That's why he was the hottest. The hottest beat maker in Ghana.
I think these things move in cycles. So there was first Zap Mallet, then
there was Zap.
Apietus.
No, there was after Zap. Yes. Then there was it not JQ's time?
JQ,
yeah. JQ too. Then Apietus
with this in the mix. then we even have. I don't know what I would talk about.
Quao.
Yeah.
There was even a time when this guy, Ajingo,
Roro. Morris.
Yeah.
So Roro and Morris had their time.
And they have their sick tunes. So when you are singing that, your song
like Collins T.
So who's on top now?
Right. The beat makers. I think it depends on what you want. Really, it depends on the kind of music.
So there's no
reigning
champion.
No. Yeah. The person. I mean, in terms of popular songs now, I think MOG.
Yeah.
MOG did Sarkodie's Year of Return. Okay. He did Ofecho. Yeah. So he has some of the hottest.
There was also George Forrest for the gospel.
George Forrest. Everybody went to George Forrest.
George
Forrest. Everybody went to
the one who did
Christiana Love.
Christiana Love.
All of Christiana Love.
What's the sick tune?
George Forrest.
Baby, don't try. Never let me go crazy.
George Forrest.
Yes, Kumasi based George Forrest.
Some one song. Then you put his name there.
That's a song that you love so much.
One day we have to do Mogo for the beat makers Mogo.
A great one.
The beat makers Mogo. Anyway, so Mogo is on 28th of this month. It's the last but 3 day of the month. It's the big one that ends the Heritage Month. The Heritage Caravan is back. Kojo is supposed to have brought me shea butter.
It's in my house.
You are supposed to bring me ampesi.
It's in my house.
You are supposed to bring me guinea fowl.
It's in my house.
Okay, so I'm waiting for you. But welcome back.
Thank you, Bernard.
And good morning to Nathan.
Hello.
We spent enough time talking about JQ, so let's jump into the papers quickly.
Well, the Daily Graphic says, Graphic 70 years. Speaker launches anniversary today. President Lord's Kumasi residence for successful independence celebration, and World marks International Women's Day. Rights groups call for gender equality.
Now, the Ghanaian Times, we will resist LGBT confab in Ghana, vows Global Evangelical Church. On occasion of International Women's Day, First Lady acknowledges role of women in national development. Please grab Lotto Froster in Kumasi. Government addressing infrastructure deficit in senior high schools. This is according to the president. And junior high school 2 students stabs teenager to death over loaf of bread.
The Daily Guide says MPP dumps 15 aspirants in Eastern region. 2 robbers die in shootout with police. Apology and retraction somewhere there. Chief's corpse stolen, 4 shot, and free education made me prime minister. That's the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, speaking there.
The Chronicle, 2 cops nabbed over missing rifle. Insider suspects linkage with Sogakope murder. 16 million Italians locked down over coronavirus. Ghanaians bash Mahama for failing to attend Independence Parade. Police swoop on Pram Lotto operator, and Kumasi celebration bore the mark of a great leader.
The Daily Statesman, I'm Prime Minister because of free SHS, says Keith Christopher Rowley. We have reason to rejoice. Akufo-Addo touts Ghana's economic and democratic forward march, and EC to postpone incumbent voters' registration. That's the big question on the front page of the Daily Statesman.
The Finder has a picture of the president in Kumasi at the independence celebration. Abide by COVID-19 safety rules. President Nana-Addo appeals to Ghanaians. First Lady salutes Ghanaian women on International Women's Day. Clearing of goods through Unipass, progressing well. And government renegotiating codified conditions of service for health professionals. This is according to the sector minister.
The Herald says, Opuni trial judge violated constitution and code of conduct. Kweku Baako advises Akufo-Addo to drop his Supreme Court nomination. Second DMP runs from Esla Usu's anger. And coming up, PDS-like deal discovered in Aker Energy transaction with the Akufo-Addo government, and Mahama's absence drowns Akufo-Addo at Independence Day event.
Now, the Ghanaian Observer, there's a picture of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago with his kente conferring with the President of Ghana. And the headline says, Trinidad PM endorses free senior high school. Akufo-Addo bans handshakes over dreaded COVID-19. UK Immigration Department backs Mike OK Jr. over British citizenship claims. And government investing heavily in educational infrastructure, President Akufo-Addo.
The publisher says blows over Chief's corpse at Kaswa, 4 shots, 5 arrested. And there's a picture of Ambrose Derry, who's the interior minister. Mahama mourns with family of slain Sogakope assemblyman. Addison misses parliament again, disqualified from contesting Ikuapim North seat. Nana bans handshakes. And NAPO promotes regular medical checkups.
Now, the new crusading guide. Government spending heavily on education, Akufo-Addo declares. Bloody fights over Chief's corpse, 4 shots at Kaswa Ofako. Now, if Ofako, okay. Adopt homeopathy to prevent coronavirus. C4C boss tells the government. And BBNE NPP seat, Abuaji Jedu is NPP's doom. Party members declare route for Alfred Obeng Boateng.
Okay, and the BNFT says an Adako Total SA deal, no complete tax recovery, no approval of sale, CSO to government. And countries must provide quality goods for aftermarket, and CBOD eyes 50% stake in Mali's petroleum market. So that's the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors stating their ambitious plans.
Let's wrap up with 2 more business papers, the Economic Times and the Gold Street Business. Ghana's reserves climb up to $10 billion after BOG receives Eurobond money. This is the front page of the Economic Times. Cocoa Board expects $600 million from AFDB and Bust plans to raise more funds from capital markets. If you go to the Gold Street Business, processes to access $600 million from AFDB still ongoing. This is the Cocoa Board loan issue. Ghana looking to access $62 billion coronavirus fund, and GEPA considering postponing 2020 WTPO conference if impact of coronavirus infections continues.
Now, I have a very troubling, I won't say it's troubling, it's possibly good news depending on where you sit, or bad news depending. CitiBusinessNews.com, oil price drops by about 30%, lowest in 4 years, as Saudi-Russia crude war escalates. This is a very big story globally, and I'll give you some information later on this. Also, customers of defunct fund managers issued 2-week ultimatum over locked up cash. This is still CitiBusinessNews.com. And banana farmers lament threat to production by illegal mining activity. So that story also on CitiBusinessNews.com. Globally, the other stories, of course, it's BBC, lowest virus cases in China since crisis began. That's the positive story. But their business section says Asia stock markets tumble after oil price crash. And that story is the same in Bloomberg as well. They say basically oil drops 31% in West loss since Gulf War as price fight erupts. And there are implications for this. And Africa CDC intensifies coronavirus response in 43 countries. So let's start with Ghanaian stories. I'll take you into some coronavirus issues as well and the oil price on the international scene. So Nathan, where would you want to start from with the Daily Graphic?
Yeah, let's go to Kumasi.
Yes.
That's where the Independence Day celebrations were held last Friday. And the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has commended the residents of Kumasi and the Ashanti region in general for the impressive turnout during the 63rd Independence celebration held at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. He said by far the Kumasi celebration had been the most successful and thanked the residents for their impressive participation. The president made the commendation yesterday when he joined the Archbishop Emeritus of the Catholic Archdiocese of Kumasi, the Most Reverend Peter Akwesi Sapon, during the celebration of the Golden Jubilee of the Archbishop's Episcopal consecration at the St. Peter's Basilica of the Catholic Church in Kumasi. So that's coming from
then the president of Trinidad and Tobago made some interesting points about free SHS, his endorsement of the same, and how because of that. Just give me that angle quickly.
Okay, the Ghanaian Observer has that angle from page 9 to page 10. It says Trinidad Prime Minister endorses free senior high school. Now the story says the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Honorable Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, MP, has hailed the impact of access to free senior high school on his life. Responding to a toast on Friday, 6th March 2020 at the Manshia Palace, after the Asantini Otunfo Setu II held a dinner in his honor, Prime Minister revealed that he came from a family of 6 boys, he being the last of the boys. And he said, and I quote, 5 boys never went to high school. My sister and I went to high school because Dr. Eric Williams, first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, a name that you are familiar with, did what your president, Akufo-Addo, has just done in 1962.
Amazing stuff. And he was wearing kente as well.
Yeah.
And almost all the reports are saying that it was a good ceremony.
When we went to Manshia for the Heritage Caravan, they were preparing for this particular event at which he spoke.
Amazing stuff. All right, so that's on the Independence Day.
Yes.
What else is big in the papers?
Let's get into some security stories. Page 6 of the Daily Guide says, Chief's corpse stolen, 4 shot. So 4 persons were shot and the corpse of a chief stolen in a chieftaincy-related melee at Kaswa of Akor in the Ewutu Senya East Municipality of the Central Region on Saturday. According to the police, about 20 or so men opened fire on Asafo companies and the Bermuhine of Odupon of Akor, who were preparing for rituals to bury the late Achiamihine of Odupon of Akor, Nana Kojo Amoashi. After opening the fire and injuring several persons, the perpetrators moved in to steal the remains of the late chief that was being prepared for burial. 5 suspects are in custody of the Kaswa Divisional Police Command after they were arrested by a patrol team in connection with the crime.
Still on crime in the Ghanaian.
Yes, 2 cops snapped over missing rifle. This is the Chronicle, page 3. It says the Volta Regional Police Command has arrested and placed in custody 2 of its junior personnel, Lance Corporal Osei Safo and Constable Charles Eboa, in connection with a service rifle that has reportedly gone missing at the Sogakope division where they are stationed. It is not clear if the disappearance of the rifle is linked to the killing of the assembly member exactly a week ago. Accounts from police sources varied, as one source said the arrest of the 2 policemen may have something to do with the murder, but an official at the Regional Police Relations Department told this reporter that it was too early to connect it to anyone.
Meanwhile, CitiNewsroom.com say 4 people have been arrested over the killing of Sogakope assemblyman. A story says police in the Volta region have arrested 4 persons suspected to have had a hand in the killing of the assembly member for the Sogakope South electoral area, Marcos Mauto Ajahli. The 4, according to the police, are assisting with investigations and will be arraigned in accordance with the law. The police also called on the general public to help, and they also re-announced some numbers, toll-free number 191 or 18555 or 0242979097 for any information that could lead to the arrest of people connected with the crime. Let's continue with other stories. MPP 15 aspirants.
Yes.
The biggest, Philip Addison, not going through. Let's run through the Daily Guide's front page.
Well, that's on page 3 of the Daily Guide. Daniel Bampo of Kufredia put that story together, and it reads 15 out of 79 aspirants who filed to contest the ruling NPP's upcoming parliamentary primaries in the Eastern region ahead of the 2020 elections have been disqualified by the Regional Vetting Committee. Key among the disqualified persons is respected lawyer Philip Addison, lead counsel for the NPP presidential election petition case in 2013. Now, he contested on the party's ticket but was unsuccessful in the 2016 general election at Klote Koli in the Greater Accra. He laced his boots to contest in the Kuapim North this time around and was hoping to unseat the incumbent MP and Deputy Minister for Information, Nana Ama Dokwa Esiameje, who is seeking re-election. The news of the disqualification of the 15 aspirants in the region spread like wildfire, but NPP Regional Secretary Jeff Kunedu took his time to explain what exactly transpired at the vetting to Daily Guide. In the case of Mr. Addison, the Regional Secretary said he was not recommended for the April 25 contest because, quote, he, Mr. Addison, hasn't nurtured the party in the constituency, end quote.
Now, if you go to Etiwa East, all 4 aspirants contesting the incumbent, Abna Osiasari, Deputy Minister of Finance, have all been disqualified. Ernest Adadi Oredu, Kojo Amega Kafui, Eric Ejaku, and Dr. Benny Frank. And they are alleged, this is my journal story, they are alleged to have ganged up and had their supporters invoke cases on regional executives over speculation that they were going to kick their preferred candidate out of the contest. In Etiwa West, Dr. Owusu Achim, who had aimed to unseat incumbent Kwesi Amakwanta, could not make it past the vetting. In Ebrim, drama unfolded at the vetting of Frank Miraku Ahima, who was eyeing the Ebrim constituency seat. He was arrested by police allegedly for defrauding someone to the tune of 5,000 cedis. In Fantiakwa North, Captain Moro Sechiama Yakubu was also disqualified because he was not forthright with the documents he submitted. According to the regional secretary, he presented documents to claim he built a school in the constituency, but when he was asked to show proof, he told a different story. Different people, Charlie. So 15 in Eastern region alone. Now let's go back to Kojo on other stories.
Yes, I'll take you to the Finder and the Ghanaian Times. Now, if you check page 6 of the Finder, First Lady salutes Ghanaian women on International Women's Day, which was yesterday. And it says the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo, says she recognizes and celebrates all amazing Ghanaian women on the occasion of International Women's Day, which was observed yesterday. In particular, she saluted and acknowledged the contributions of all the amazing women who go unnoticed. And according to her, we should support one another to consolidate our gains and strive for more. That was a message on the day. Now, if you check the Ghanaian Times as well, there's this story on the front page. We resist LGBT conference in Ghana. Vows the Global Evangelical Church.
Okay.
Now, the story says that the Global Evangelical Church yesterday declared its intention to fiercely resist plans by the LGBT community to hold a conference in Ghana later this year. And according to the Reverend Innocent Kobina Agbenuvo, Ghana belongs to God and not LGBT people. He was preaching the sermon at a civic program of the church, Ghana Week, with a theme, Our Nation, Our Heritage, as part of the Independence Day celebration of the congregation. And he insisted that the nation had a wealthy cultural identity from God and that they would resist any attempts by any LGBT group to have a conference here.
Now, let me give you a few more stories. Customers of fund management firms demand locked up cash in 2 weeks. This story is on citynewsroom.com. Customers of 53 collapsed fund management companies are calling on government to ensure an expeditious payment of their locked up funds. The customers say their inability to access their monies is making life difficult for them. Some say they are aged people who have lamented their inability to foot medical bills, among other things, due to the situation. Now, still in social sector, 962 SHS infrastructure projects ongoing nationwide, according to the president. This is on citynewsroom.com. President Akufo-Addo has said a total of 962 structures are being constructed in all senior high schools across the country to address infrastructure challenges. According to the president, the government has put in place an elaborate program to ensure that the many problems faced by second cycle schools as a result of the introduction of free SHS are addressed. He was speaking at the 68th speech and prize giving day of the Opoko Senior High School in Kumasi and said the government will continue to invest heavily in education.
Now, in health, 296 physician assistants and anesthetists inducted into practice.
Okay.
This is the Ghanaian Times. It says the Ghana Medical and Dental Council has inducted 296 newly qualified physician assistants and certified registered anesthetists into the council to boost the distribution of personnel in the health sector. Now, if you go to the Finder, page 5, government renegotiating codified conditions of service for health personnel.
Okay.
This is the minister speaking. And the story says Mr. Kweku Ajimamenu, Minister for Health, has said the government is renegotiating the codified conditions of service for public sector health professionals with particular attention to rural or deprived area incentives.
Okay.
Remember, we spoke about this the last time. He said the government would continue to engage with stakeholders on how to better care for health professionals and collectively make the health system more responsive to the needs of all Ghanaians.
If you go to the Daily Statesman on page 3, the Minister of Works and Housing, Samuel Atachia, has challenged the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to do more by ensuring that district and municipal assemblies discharge their duties in helping to maintain the environment. Now, this, he believes, will go a long way to deal with the poor drainage issues confronting Ghana, such as the dumping of refuse in drains and the building of structures.
You know what's interesting about this
on
comment?
waterways.
Last week, the Minister for Sanitation was asked about Accra's cleanliness, and she said the responsibility doesn't fall squarely on her ministry, but the other ministries, including Works and Housing and local government, involved in sanitation. Now, Works and Housing is also saying that which ministry? Some other ministries will also do something. So, and there's, in fact, she mentioned the environment. She mentioned the environment ministry, and she also mentioned the local government. Now, Works and Housing is also talking about other ministries. So it means we have 4 ministries, and yet we are having no clarity on who's supposed to take responsibility for this. Now, take me outside Accra.
Yes, I'll take you to the Kwame Danso Atebubu area, center spread of the Chronicle. Senate Traditional Council appeals to government to fix Atebubu Kwame Danso Road. Now, the story says the paramount chief of the Bassa traditional area in the Sydney East District in the Bono East region, Nana Owusu Sechi III, has made a distress call to the government to immediately fix the Atebubu Kwame Danso Road. Speaking at the Bassa Biribi Festival of the people in the area, Nana Sechi explained that despite the fact that the area produces a lot of foodstuff for the country, successive governments have failed to rehabilitate the road. And according to him, the Atebubu Kwame Danso Road is a major road aiding economic activities. Yet the government government after government has failed to do the right thing by paying attention to it.
Okay.
And he's asking the government that if this is the year of roads, that road needs to be fixed.
Go for it, Nathan.
Yeah, if you go to the front page of the Graphic, they are celebrating their paper. Graphic is 70 years.
Today.
Yes, and the Graphic
Well done.
Communications Group Limited is 70 years old this year, and the Platinum Jubilee will be launched at a colorful ceremony this morning. The launch on the company's premises at number 3 Graphic Road in Accra will be performed by the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Mike Okwe, who is an avid reader of the paper. The event will also attract high-profile personalities, including the Minister of Information, not surprisingly, Mr. Kojo Oponkruma, other ministers of state, parliamentarians, the chairman of the National Media Commission, Mr. Yao Boydu Ayeboafo, the chairman of the EC, Mrs. Jean Mensah, the Auditor General, Mr. Daniel.
Since we are in the independence,
Congratulations,
the heritage
congratulations
month.
to Graphic. 70
Yes.
years is not easy.
Yeah.
Consistency, good job.
You know, E.T. Mensah did a song for the Mirror.
Which of the ET mentions?
E.T. Mensah, the E.T. Mensah, proper.
Ah,
E.T. Mensah.
yeah.
Sunday Mirror.
Yeah,
it is a lovely paper.
I tell you, we'll get it for you.
They should do one for the Graphic.
Let me
too.
give you a few stories globally. So Bloomberg is reporting that oil markets crashed more than 30% after the disintegration of the OPEC Plus alliance triggered an all-out price war between Saudi Arabia and Russia that is likely to have sweeping political economic consequences. Brent futures suffered the second largest decline on record in the opening seconds of trading in Asia, behind only the plunge during the Gulf War in 1991. As the global oil benchmark plummeted to as low as $31.02 a barrel. Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated warned prices could drop to nearly $20 a barrel. Now, this cataclysmic collapse will resonate through the energy industry, from giants like ExxonMobil to smaller shale drillers in West Texas. It could also hit the budgets of export-dependent countries from Iraq to Nigeria, and could also reshape global politics, eroding the influence of countries like Saudi Arabia. The fight against climate change may suffer a setback as fossil fuels become more competitive versus renewable resources. Now, for Ghana, there are two possible consequences. We may have to look at our budget again, because quite a substantial percentage of our revenues is coming from the oil sector. But the good news could be that because we import a lot of finished product, it could mean paying lower prices.
Are we a net exporter or a net importer?
It depends on whether you're asking for crude or whether you're asking for oil generally.
I'm talking about petroleum products generally.
It's not clear, because
not-
it depends. It depends on who you ask.
Okay, let's drill down later, because if you're a net exporter, this could be bad news.
Whether you are an exporter or
Oh,
not, because our revenue depends on crude export, it's not good news for us. But the question is, will the benefit of the reduced price be felt by customers who buy finished product?
It has to be.
Well, that's the question we'll try and address. Business News has more on this.
Okay. Cocoa Board also expects $600 million from AFDB. It's on the front page of the Economic Times. And Ghana is also looking to access some of the funds from the $62 billion coronavirus fund.
Speaking of coronavirus, the cases in the US have surpassed 500, but BBC is reporting that in China, this is the lowest case recorded since the crisis began. So they're looking for good news.
Yeah, my
in
friend
terms
at the
of
Columbia University says that now all classes have been halted. They are going to resort to online studies.
So global markets are
Wednesday, yeah.
reeling, and Italian football matches are being
Without
played
supporters.
behind closed doors. There's a lot of issues, but the good, and in Togo there's a first case reported. So far in Ghana, nothing has been reported, and we need to keep praying and hoping our authorities are also on top of the game. Now, the newspaper review was brought to us by Fidelity Bank. The word together means being united in a common goal in order to